Vinay, it's the 90s. We're in
Right.
Kingston,
Yep.
not Jamaica, Surrey, just south of London.
Yep.
Tell us, it's Friday night. What's going on in your life at this time? And
Yep.
you're an accountant, by the way, now. But
Yeah.
back in the 90s,
Yeah.
you live in this interesting life.
Yeah. So I studied at Kingston University in the 90s and studied accountancy and finance. And outside of the academics, Kingston was a thriving party town. And like a Friday night in Kingston would be getting together with friends. And yeah, just hitting the town really. It was a thriving place. Club scene was really good.
What were the names of the clubs back then?
Yeah, Options used to be a good club.
Is that the one by the station?
That's the one by the
So-
station. The main one in the centre, it's changed names, was Vaults back in the day and then changed to the Works. I don't know what it is now.
Is this, for anyone in their 30s, this might be Oceana.
Yeah, I
Potentially.
don't know what it's called now. There used to be a really cool pub by Kingston Bridge and club called Number 4.
Right.
That used to be a really good place to go to as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people come for your story, not the history of the Kingston
Yeah,
nightlife.
yeah,
But tell
yeah.
us, why are we talking about this? What was the significance of this in your life?
Yeah, well, Kingston has had a big part of my life where I spent many years doing my university kind of time, and I spent time away from home for the very first time. So I grew up in Southampton, a place called Eastleigh, and outside of living away from Southampton, Kingston was my second home for a number of years, being based there for university, and stayed on there for a couple of years with my friends to start my first job in the city.
But before you would start your finance career, you were
Yeah.
organising nights, right? Music nights, DJ nights. What's
Yeah,
going on?
so at university, I got into, I kind of developed a bit more of my vinyl DJing at that time. So Wednesday nights, we started at the student union. We started our own kind of R&B, hip hop, urban music night at Kingston Hill Business School. There used to be a small bar called Hannaford's. And so Wednesday night was like the pre-warm up to the big kind of student night that used to happen at the Works in the town. So yeah, we
What
spent
kind of music are we talking? Is this Missy Elliott period, TLC,
TLC. Missy Elliott was coming out at the time. It was more,
Brandy?
yeah. Now you're like pulling some good tunes there. So yeah, it was more around kind of Brandy. And at that time as well, the UK scene was starting to take shape. So we're talking,
What scene?
we're
R&B
talking,
or
we're
garage?
talking UK garage. So
Okay.
at that time was Craig David was coming onto the scene a
Okay.
lot more.
Artful
And
Dodger.
Artful Dodger, yeah. I mean, coming from Southampton, they were kind of like leading the way that the whole
Oh,
music
they're
scene.
from Southampton, are they?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and the way that scene was kind of developing, and it was more underground first,
Okay.
evolving from the drum and bass jungle days, and so two-step garage kind of developed in the kind of mid 90s as such. So really started to take off towards the end of my time at Kingston. But yeah, the music that we kind of played was R&B, hip hop. Even the Brit Asian scene was
Yeah.
coming on a bit more.
Any artists from that scene?
So at that time it was more Rishi Rich, Juggy D, Jay Sean was starting his
Oh,
career,
yeah.
but
Mhm.
Jay Sean went on to more of a mainstream
Yeah.
part then. Patchy Indian was massive in the 90s, a global icon that really paved the way for kind of Asian fusion in music.
Right.
So it made it more mainstream. Patchy Indian did tunes like Arranged Marriage, Chuck There, back from the mid 90s. His first album was like No Reservations. It really transformed Indian music into the mainstream.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And just for anyone listening, this is still the ACCA
Yeah,
content.
yeah.
This is not a music show, but this is a big part of your life.
That's
What
right.
was the first vinyl you ever bought?
First vinyl. Wow. Okay. So I used to go to Woolworths with my friends from my school days. We used to get given, I used to get given 50p from my dad to go and get something to eat, but actually we used to go and buy a 7-inch single from Woolworths. Probably like something.
It's okay if it's embarrassing. Just be honest. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Probably something around like Mantronics. Got to have Got to Have Your Love. I remember my very first CD.
What was that?
That was TLC, Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
Oh, cool.
Cassettes. So my kind of DJing journey started from a friend of mine used to do house parties at school, in his house. We used to
House parties in his house.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
joking.
We're going back to early 90s here.
Yeah.
And we used to get hi-fis together, play with cassettes basically to make a playlist. So my kind of music DJing journey started from playing at house parties with cassettes,
Right.
and then buying records, going down to Woolworths, using friends' turntables that weren't actually kind of Technics, but just actual ones trying to scratch and breaking needles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
So when you played it with cassettes, when you DJ with cassettes, would you have two machines?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, you can create a playlist on one, but generally, yeah, you kind of just it's totally different back
I
then.
can't
you know?
even imagine how that would work. That's like a YouTube, what do
Yeah,
you call it? Rabbit thingy,
Yeah.
tunnel. What's
Yeah.
the word? Rabbit
going
hole.
down a rabbit hole. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to your life.
yeah, sure.
So you're in this scene. You're developing your whole music career.
Yeah.
But you've developed a very successful career in finance. So
Yeah.
I'm intrigued at that transition, but you haven't left it behind
No.
because I've got a long list of things that you're involved in now.
Okay.
You're on the board for Hampshire County Cricket.
Yeah.
One of the top professional cricket clubs in the country. You're also leading the finance work stream of a major business project as part of LV's finance transformation strategy.
That's right. Yeah.
I've done my research.
You have. You clearly have. Yeah, that's right.
LV being one of the UK's largest insurance companies.
Yeah.
We're not finished. Not only that, you also, at the same time, the DJing hasn't stopped. You DJ at the Utilita Bowl, which used to be known as
The Aegeus Bowl, which is
is it different to the Rose Bowl?
no. Yeah, so it was the Rose Bowl, and then became the Aegeus Bowl
Right.
for a number of years because Aegeus used to sponsor the
Yeah.
venue, and then it recently changed to Utilita Bowl.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
So Utilita won't be happy us mentioning the previous sponsor, but let's just move on. Home of Hampshire County Cricket.
Yeah.
So you DJ there during the T20 Blast
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
And you described me just before this. So when people come in,
Yeah.
that they see you guys, you DJing.
that's correct. So one thing that the Hampshire Cricket wanted to kind of create was kind of fan experience and fan engagement leading into a game. So when you're coming into Utilita Bowl, you're kind of coming up a hill. They wanted to have people kind of listening to music, getting into a bit more, creating the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're right outside the fan gates. We're situated right across from there, so every single fan will come across and see us basically.
And I think the coolest thing about this is the we that you're talking about, the us, is you and your 17-year-old son.
That's right.
You
Yeah,
DJ back to back
yeah, we do.
at the ground.
Yeah.
And so he's getting into that whole music career too.
Yeah, I mean, his taste in music is slightly different with what's kind of currently there, but I've been educating him on about 90s music, and he's getting into that a lot. But yeah, it's fun. We have a great time to play tunes together. We have kind of 2 or 3 hours from when gates open to actually when the match starts. So when you're there for a couple of hours, spinning some tunes, you listen to some great tunes, and we mix it up with old school from the 90s to noughties to current. We have an opportunity to kind of play the tunes that we like. This year, what we're working with Hampshire Cricket is around theming some of the nights. So some of the nights will be 90s. There's one night that's strictly just Oasis. So they're really looking at making, theming up the nights and bringing something else for the fans for before they go into the game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's what I really want to uncover with you today is how to create this balance of work and fun, which is something people always struggle with. And you seem to have done pretty well. So we'll get into that as we go.
Yeah. Sure.
But first I want to talk about moving abroad. This
Yes.
is something to work.
Yes.
And this is something a lot of people think about, fantasize about, maybe what it's like to live in different countries and work.
Yeah.
And you're someone who has done that. So it'd be interesting to hear how you made that decision. For you, it's slightly interesting because you went on holiday and you did what we all do, is you go, I could live here.
Yeah.
I could move here. I could live here.
Yeah.
And then you did it.
We
What
did.
what
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah. So I just finished my ACCA exams.
Hmm.
Got married. Bought our first house together with my wife, and we're at that time in our life where we could take the opportunity to do something different. We took a bit of a break, went to Australia for a holiday for 3 weeks. And yeah, when we came back, we looked into the working holiday visa. And so before you turn 30, you can get given a working holiday visa to travel Australia, New Zealand, and go there for a year. And we were 29, and we thought, actually, do you know what? We've had a good time in Australia. Let's go and do it. And it's amazing how I look back and think how using a accounting qualification, it's amazing how you think that, am I able to use that abroad? And that was the main thing that got me a job in Australia. So I was able to work in a corporate office as well as travel around. We've had some great experiences traveling around kind of Australia, New Zealand in a camper van, and, for the year that we were there. And yeah, look, at that time, for myself and my wife, we were like, okay, well, do we go back to England, or what do we do next? And I was lucky to get sponsored by an Australian company who then kind of, sponsored my 4-year visa.
Brilliant.
And so in a nutshell, we ended up staying in Australia for 6 years.
Wow.
In the end. It's a fantastic part of the world. My son was born out there. It's a great part.
So if someone's listening to this and they're like in that stage, they're like, oh, maybe I could move abroad. Maybe they've got a family.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it?
Yeah, look, when I talk to people about, when people talk about opportunities and what it is now, you get to meet people from all over the world now, especially when in London, etc. And I'm one of the first ones to say, if you get a chance to go abroad and work, then why not? A lot of it is the what ifs.
Yeah.
What if I go out there and nothing happens, or am I going to be all right out there? Will I have enough money? Or but sometimes you just got to take that opportunity. And for us, it was we knew it was the right time to go, and equally it was the right time for us to come back.
Had you had kids at that point
when we went?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
So our son was born out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not a worry either. It's okay to have your children born in this new country you've gone to.
Yeah, and we were evolved. Like we knew we could stay up there for 4 years because of my work, but we knew at some point we would have to want to come back because of family.
Around family, yeah.
Because we didn't have family out there.
Mm.
It was just the friends that we made who were in a similar situation to us.
Mm.
And some are still out there, very successful. We still keep in touch with them. Some have moved back, so, but as an experience, you get to meet so many other people and share so many different experiences. And Australia is fantastic. The food, the drink, the culture, the lifestyle is totally different.
And I imagine if you hadn't gone, you'd probably, if I said maybe what's one of your regrets, it might be one of the things that comes up. Like we thought about moving to Australia, but never did it.
Yeah.
Which is often a good way of kind of thinking about life. If you've got a difficult decision, is there something I will regret not doing in the future?
Yeah, that's right. So when we came back from that kind of 3-week holiday, we were umming and ahhing, and I think things have to fall into. When I say things fall into place, when you make a decision, you find that actually, if you kind of run with it, things start to kind of work out.
Yeah.
And so that's how we decided to kind of go out. We had just got married, bought a house. Do we start doing it up, or we were very young in our careers? So we thought, let's just do it.
Love it. Good. Yeah. You followed Knight's advice. You just did it.
Yeah.
So you had a lot of fun during your career, doing your DJing, involvement in cricket, which we'll talk about. But it doesn't mean you're immune from stress, because being involved in different things does sometimes come with it stress. One of the challenges you're often presented in a finance role is the drive to cut costs.
Yeah, that's right.
And you get put in positions where you have to make very tough decisions.
Yeah.
And deliver things that are tough to achieve.
Yeah.
What is that like? What's it like when you're in the middle of that kind of storm? And
for
you?
Very stressful. I think what we find in our kind of roles within finance, we're kind of custodians of cost, basically. Yeah. So a lot of companies now are kind of cost driven in terms of making decisions on headcount, project kind of resource, or what to invest in to kind of develop their strategy. So it's extremely stressful because you've got stakeholder management with the environment that you're in, but also you're working with your colleagues as well. We're equally there just to make a difference and trying to work through and deliver. But then when that delivery on certain things can be kind of restricted to time frame, resource, it makes it difficult. And across my kind of career in finance, I've kind of managed teams, been involved in helping out managing departments, and there is a high level of stress that comes the more you kind of go up the ladder, as it were. Yeah.
Do you take that home with you? Does it follow you back home? And
it has done, because ultimately you go back home and you're thinking about work. And there's been times in my career where I've got up in the middle of the night thinking about something, and it's only later in my career that I've started to manage that better. I think when I was a lot younger, I wanted to kind of work and impress and really kind of drive my career. A lot of that was taking on a lot of stress, but when I look back at it, I'm kind of grateful I've got a great wife who supports me, a great family that's around me, because those stressful moments really test you as an individual. And mental health is such a big thing now, and it is key to everyone's kind of journey.
Does your wife ever mention something to you when she sees you're kind of bringing home stress from work and your stress?
All the time.
What does she say? What does she notice?
I think she's just got away, because obviously we've known each other for so many years. She has this way
How old were you when you met?
We met actually at Kingston University.
Oh wow! Okay, cool.
So this is going back to 2000. We met actually. We were on the same campus, but we actually met. We kind of knew each other, but we kind of got to know each other more after we finished university. So yeah, it's kind of coming up to 25 years. We got married in 2004. So
amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, look, she knows me. She knows she can pick up on things, and we get into conversations, sometimes a bit heated. But ultimately,
what will she say to you? Will she say, Vinay, you seem a bit stressed, or how does it go down?
I think it's more she knows when I get stressed because I start talking fast, or like I'll just not make sense sometimes when I'm trying to say something, and she'll just kind of help to calm me down and just kind of talk through things. And I think over the years what's happened is she's often right most of the time, and it's more, sometimes we need a partner or someone that we know that's close to us to really help us to bring perspective back into situations, because stress can make you go into this weird direction sometimes. And yeah, she has her way, and she knows me really well, and we have our conversations. We're trying to talk through things. I take time out to think about situations, and when it comes to work, it's a very, very hard thing to balance, because you're in that environment every day. Before COVID, it was like in the office every day. Now with hybrid working, you still have that kind of time at home, so it's okay. But yeah, I've been through some very kind of stressful situations, but yeah, you kind of navigate your way through it, and make people make mistakes, and the main thing is to learn from them, but try and just work through it, because it's hard, because every situation is very different.
Have you ever in your career and life been distant from your children because of work, where you not feel like you weren't really there as much as you would have liked to?
Yeah, so for me, my son, who's 17 now, I've made a conscious effort to be there for him as much as I can. My work does take me away from spending time with him on certain evenings when he was growing up, but he's a very good cricketer, and I've spent a lot of weekends since he was 8 years old with him, taking him to games, and so that's I've made a conscious kind of decision to kind of support him through those early years of when he was doing a lot of sport, and now he plays at quite a good elite level. And I kind of find that I take that step back now because he's growing into being himself and just growing into being a man
now, right?
Yeah, 17.
Yeah. And any advice for anyone who is listening to this, they're overwhelmed with work, they're stressed, they're not sleeping well, they're waking up in the night like you have before, thinking about work, and they feel like maybe they're not there for their partner as they should be, or their children. Any advice for someone going through that now?
Yeah, sure. I think the main thing is to just be open and to talk about it. Sometimes you don't have a partner that you can talk to, but if you can have a friend that you can talk to, the key thing is about opening up and talking about situations, because sometimes in our mind the situation isn't as bad as what it actually is, but when you talk it through, either with a loved one, with a friend, with a family member, like I say, it's always to bring perspective back into the situation, because ultimately work is work, but your family comes first, your life comes first. So you've got to think, what is more important here? Everyone's replaceable at work, but we're not as individuals. So
Great advice. Love that. Very powerful. I imagine it's a bit like a very tough tap to open when you are stressed and you're not speaking to anyone. It can be really hard to have that first conversation. You don't know where to start, what to say. But I think once you do, just sit down with a mate and just go, by the way, I'm struggling right now with this work, and it's easier to do.
And as I don't know if it's sometimes a guy thing as well. Sometimes we don't want to come across as like weak, that we're failing to manage a situation, or we don't know what to do next, with the situation. And we're all human. We need to talk about what we're feeling and just try and work our way through it and just try our best, really.
Okay, so in summary, sit down with the other half if you have one. Try and be as open and honest about how you're feeling. At the same time, they'll no doubt be supportive. Or if you're not in a relationship, reach out to a friend, family member, have a chat. As soon as you start talking about it, it eases the pressure and you get out of your head, right?
Just thinking about it, actually, through a couple of stages of my career, I've had a really great mentor as well.
Okay.
So that's helped, because then mentors in the workplace generally aren't in the same area as what you work in. And so sometimes from a professional capacity, that really helps as well. You can find someone in the workplace that will maybe be able to help you.
Great advice. Lots of avenues to look down. So tell me about, you helped me. We had a chat beforehand about how to engage with different stakeholders in the best way, because I think this is talking about this role that people in finance roles are often in, where you're given these very tough to meet demands, cost cutting, all of these things. So how do you engage best with exec management? What are your advice on the best way you communicate with them?
With exec members? They like to have information summarized, succinct, and just to the point. So over the kind of duration of my career, I found you kind of evolve it to a piece where they just need to know what's going on, but without all of the waffle, without all of the noise. Just say it as it is and kind of just deliver it all kind of concise. And communication is a big key of that. So just keep it concise, keep it relevant, and really offer not just what the problems are, but if there are any solutions or any kind of what do you kind of propose on that particular issue.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Because for them, it's outcome focused.
They
want to know what you can do about it.
Yeah. Don't give me the fluff. Just tell me how it is.
Exactly.
And how we can move forward.
Yep.
External, when dealing with external, so auditors, consultants, legal. What's your advice there?
Yeah. So external, look, you've always got your company's interest at heart first. There's an element of external management is different because auditors and kind of consultants, legal areas, and you give them the information that they need in the right way. When I say in the right way, within the kind of company's kind of policies and showing what we need to kind of deliver. It's definitely different to internal stakeholder communication. It's just providing information to external people.
Yeah, give them what they've asked for,
and
that's that.
Yeah,
good. Because I can imagine that can be quite stressful if you're going through an audit or something like that.
Been through many, and it's not easy. And they keep on asking the same questions every year. And it's just like, guys, you've been here last year, you've been here the year before. Why are you asking the same questions? We have to find everything and just give it to them. But yeah, it's a different experience.
I guess that's not your advice to ask them every time. Why are you here, guys? Come on.
No.
But just give them what they ask for.
Yeah.
Okay. Peers?
Yeah, so peers, colleagues, you're kind of talking to them like talking to yourself, talking as your kind of friends, and just working through things together. Ultimately, communication is the biggest thing. Just talk through issues, talk through things, work through deadlines, deliverables, and just try and have fun whilst we're trying to work.
Yeah. Don't make it your own thing that you're dealing with, like involve them in it.
Yeah.
And you've got a quite interesting technique. You like workshops, right? How do you use workshops to do it?
So over time, what I've found is that actually conducting workshops engages different people. And sometimes what you find is that if you're in an environment, in a group environment, everyone's got something different to offer, and you want to give them the opportunity to have their voice. And some kind of are a bit more vocal than others, but having kind of workshops, I found it's a very effective tool to bring everyone together. It's more inclusive. And then equally, it gives everyone the opportunity to kind of talk through things, and they feel empowered to kind of contribute to things.
Brilliant. Okay. So we've talked about stress, some great advice there on how to handle different groups.
Yeah.
And one area, it's a very personal subject, but I think an area a lot of people can relate to. When going through stress, something you've been challenged with is your weight.
Yes.
While going through this stressful moment. So tell us about it. What's your experience been with that? Yeah.
So, I think one of the things you first started off with was around how I've been good at balancing things.
Yes.
I struggle with it. People see that, I'm doing well in my career. I'm kind of doing additional things like being a NED, or I love my DJing, and I've struggled like anyone else, and I still struggle. The biggest thing for me when I stress, I eat, and so I've gone through cycles of like being in shape and then just putting on the pounds because I've gone through various things in my life, and I've been in good physical health. I've been equally in bad physical health. It's just very much going like this all the time. My ideal state, I'm far from it. But when we're trying to balance family, work, life, something always gives at some point, and I felt for me, it's my physical health has been quite turbulent over the years. But I've tried to keep more focus on recent times around mental health, but it will come. I'll get back into running again and just get more fit and, get back into a bit more kind of physical health.
And yeah, I think it is a thing a lot of people struggle with. Why is it? What is it that stress causes the pounds to be put on, as you say? What is the kind of going on there, do you think?
I don't know. I just find sometimes it's comfort, right? When you just had a bit of a stressful day, you want to for me, it's just comfort.
Yes.
You know, um, yeah,
I think it's like a lot of things in life. It kind of, yeah, it provides that comfort.
yeah,
It gives you that, dulls maybe the emotions a bit and just takes you out of those
yeah,
feelings and thoughts that you don't want.
yeah,
But if you're not eating maybe the things you want to be eating or quantities or whatever it is,
yeah.
that's where it has different adverse effects that you don't want, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And any advice for someone that's something they struggle with too,
Yeah. Look, I
from
think
your experience?
what I'm trying to do at the moment is just to kind of eat healthy, eat things that are actually genuinely good for your body. You know, my wife she's so great at kind of healthy eating, and you know, so I'm quite fortunate that I'm in a home where it's encouraged to kind of on the healthy eating part. But that doesn't stop me from when I'm at work or out with the lads, or you know, to kind of indulge a bit. But it's more, look, I think it's a hard one to balance, because a personal kind of weight issue is very much to the individual.
Yeah.
And you know, I just want to feel good about myself again, ultimately. But I know it's self-inflicted, so I need to do something about it. So, you know, what advice do I have to someone? I'm trying to work it out for myself first, you know. But ultimately, I think you just got to think about, what you're eating and what you're trying to put into your body. You know?
Yeah. And I think one of the hardest things about eating, as opposed to other, let's say, addictions, right? Whether it's smoking or alcohol or drugs or whatever, is eating. You have to do it probably 3 times a day, right?
That's right.
So whether you're trying to, you know, if that's your thing, you don't have to smoke. When you stop smoking, you stop eventually, or drugs stop, or drinking, you stop. Eating, you cannot stop. So you always kind of face that temptation.
That's
right.
right.
I think what makes it harder, and it is very comforting.
And I think it's a cultural thing as well, partly. Look, I grew up, you know, obviously in an Indian household where, you know, food is like in its abundance on the table. You know, when you're a host for family, or you know, and then when I was actually kind of, I would say, losing the pounds and in shape, people will start saying to me, "Are you eating all right?" Or
you know, concerned for you.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, actually, I'm feeling great, but why you are, you know? And so almost as though then you start thinking, actually, why are they saying that about me when actually I'm feeling good about myself? And you know, there's a cultural aspect to that all as well.
And do you, from your experience going through this, what works, what doesn't? For anyone who's like, this is something I struggle with, I need to work on it.
Yeah.
Are there any stuff that you find works and doesn't?
I felt what works for me and what's worked well for me twice, because I've been through a cycle, is I find going out, just running, clearing my mind, and just run. You know, listen to music, clear the mind.
Did you do it first thing in the day, lunchtime, after work?
I used to actually get up at 5:30 and just go running for an hour.
Really?
You know?
And you do that how many times a week?
I used to do it 3 times a week.
3 times a week.
You ask me if I do it now, mate, I don't do it, but I will start doing it at some point.
In the past, these are different ways.
Yeah. And so I think it's different, because some people like going to the gym. I just felt, for me, I just need to do it for myself, get up and get that energy going. So I felt routine. And doing first thing in the morning, going for a run, really set me up for the day. And then when you're set up for the day, you've got the energy to then get into the work situation. You then feel good. Then you're not just munching on kind of things as you go along. You start getting into a more of a structured kind of diet.
Yes.
So it helps to. That's what's helped me.
That's great advice. And I think people can translate it into what works for them. Bike ride, go to the gym, go for a run. Just first thing in the morning, 3 times a week is a good place to go from zero. Because that's the hardest moment, is when you're at point zero, you're not you don't know what the first step is, and in a chatter is not probably very good. So yeah,
Yeah.
getting that started is it's a great piece of advice.
Yeah.
So thank you for talking through that. Because again, I think a lot of people will face those struggles, and they can relate that to if it's a different issue.
Yeah.
Becoming a non-executive director.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how you became non-exec at Hampshire County Cricket?
Yeah.
And yeah, how if someone's thinking that's something I'd like to do either now at my point in my career, I'm ready for that, or plan for the future. How did you do it? How could others do it?
Yeah. So I've been a fan of Hampshire County Cricket since I was a young kid, and so having kind of been around that environment from a very young age, I've kind of seen it all from a fan perspective. And there are at times job adverts that come up for NED roles to sit on the Hampshire County Board. And at this time around last year, I felt like, I applied for the role that was openly kind of advertised. They were looking for a few NEDs.
Where was it advertised?
On their website.
Oh, right.
So if you follow them on Instagram or Twitter or X, it comes up on LinkedIn. It comes up on the feed that they're actually actively looking for NEDs.
That's a good shout. So if you have certain companies or industries that you think I'd like this area, follow different accounts in that area, and you might see. Yeah,
and why I wanted to become an NED as well is just more from a personal development point of view as well, where you have an opportunity to look at the operations of a cricket board, of a cricket organisation. You get more insight into how it's all run, and you equally what we're trying to do as a board now is to kind of look at the strategy, roll out the new strategy from 2025 to 2029. So ultimately, the directive of the board is to basically have more boys and girls play cricket on the recreational level. So how do we go about doing that? There's a strategy that's being rolled out. It's coming out soon. So yeah, it's just it's great to be a part of a board where you can lend your view on strategy, operation. So it's just a good opportunity. I actually went to an event last night that the ACCA hosted with NED on board.
Yeah.
So that was really good. So we had 3 NEDs at the ACCA office that actually gave their insight of how they became NEDs and the kind of areas that they're in. So the ACCA have that as part of
brilliant.
Yeah.
So you can reach out to them and say, this is what I'm thinking, and they might be able to put you in the right direction.
Yeah.
What's NED on board?
NED on board is like I think it's just like a professional body that is for NEDs, or if you want to become an NED, they give you the kind of the information. There's courses available, so it's a separate organisation that ACCA have partnered up with.
Brilliant. It's a great name. NED on board.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah,
in many ways. So what's your message to people who have dreams of doing things that they've always wanted to do, but they haven't done it yet? Because you're this daytime finance, nighttime DJ, person, which is pretty cool. So there'll be people who would love to have this other part of their life that they're doing.
Yeah.
What's your advice?
I think follow your passions. I've been into music and sport from a very, very young age, but when you can explore your passions as well as your career, it really helps to just bring fulfillment into what you're doing. Always have a go at doing things. Never think about, okay, what if I don't know about this, or how are people going to perceive me if I do this? At the end of the day, if you want to do something, give it a go. What's the worst thing that's going to happen is you think, actually, it's not for me. I want to go try and do something else. And I went to, as part of ACCA Advantage, I went back to Kingston University a couple of months ago. So I was talking to a room full of students, and the 3 tips at the end that I gave them was around, following your passions, take that leap of faith, and just have a go at things. Don't be afraid. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. It's just, yeah, get involved. And I'm also breaking down the first step, very similar to what we spoke about before.
Yeah.
Just Google search something like how to become a non-exec director, or how to get involved in football, at board
Yeah.
level. Like that's often how things start. Once you find out, it's the unknown that often stops people.
That's exactly right.
And just starting that process is the way to do it.
Yeah, and I think the more that you explore the things that you like to do, the more doors actually start to open. I know it's a very kind of cliche thing to say, but actually it's very true. If you follow something, you just be surprised what doors it opens, who you meet, and what opportunities come from that. And more than that is when you look back, you think, thank God I gave it a go.
Yeah. Because you, like, for you're stood there alongside your 17-year-old son, DJing together at a cricket ground, the team you love. That's a pretty...
It's great. It's a great feeling on a Friday night or on the weekend when you got thousands of fans coming in. But ultimately, you know what? You're playing the tunes that you love.
Yeah.
And it's on loud, you're having fun, and it's great.
So when can people see you at the ground? When do you start doing this T20?
From May. From May, we've got there's a series of evening games that are T20 domestic Hampshire games. There's some England international games that are coming up that they're hosting. So
when's that? When are they? Do you know?
They're around June, July time.
Cool.
So that's coming up. So yeah, no, looking forward to it.
And just briefly tell us about two amazing initiatives. Tell us about the Bob Willis Fund and Cricket Builds Hope. Just briefly, I'd be interested here.
Yeah, so I guess Bob Willis Fund. So Bob Willis was a famous England kind of fast bowler. Unfortunately, he passed away of prostate cancer. So the Bob Willis Fund raised money for awareness of prostate cancer, for more men to take kind of the tests that are involved. So every year they hold an annual event in conjunction with a game that's going on. And so I've been involved with Bob Willis Fund for a few years now, where we're at the ground. They have a fun activity where you kind of donate money to take part in that. It all goes towards the Bob Willis Fund, or you buy merchandise. So all of that is then going into kind of raising prostate cancer awareness with men.
Brilliant. Which is a really important topic that a lot of men face.
Yeah, I really like the way that they combine sport, but also then raise awareness of that kind of the charity. And so Cricket Builds Hope, that's another charity that I'm involved in, and that's about cricket in Rwanda. And they've built infrastructure for the locals to play cricket. And it's just an amazing what they've done in terms of creating a cricket ground with new kind of facilities, and it's giving something for the community, giving them something to have fun in.
Amazing.
So yeah, there's a lot of initiatives out there, and one thing I would say is that if there's an initiative or charity that you can get involved in, I don't give up too much time. It's their annual events, or I'm not giving up like weekly time. But I feel giving back is such a big thing. And for me to have the opportunity to be involved in two great kind of foundations is good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that is your very interesting story. I think what I've learned from you, I think other people can learn from, is just how to really, ignite those passions in your life alongside work. And it is possible. And you don't just have to live this 9-to-5 career and then you've got the weekend to sit in front of the TV and watch sport. You could be at the ground DJing or whatever else it is, or being involved on the board, or just getting involved in these passions. Because I think it from what I've heard from you, it helps have something outside of your career that you brings joy and brings passion, gets your head out of that space, head out of the stress, so you can kind of come back fresh. So I think you can definitely inspire a lot of people to take action on that and explore their passions.
Thank you.
Great, that's your story. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.